Well, women peasant farmers in the Upper East region are calling on government to strictly enforce the 30% allocation of subsidized fertilizer for women farmers as stipulated in the implementation guidelines for Fertilizer Subsidy Programme. They say women farmers have always struggled to get access to government-subsidized fertilizers because their male counterparts allegedly bully them into forfeiting their share of the fertilizers at the distribution points. With the farming season for this year already in progress across the country, the situation of these women farmers is likely to be worsened if government does not intervene. JoyNews' Upper East Region correspondent Albert Sori has been engaging some women farmers and came through with this report.
The Government of Ghana has been implementing the National Fertilizer Subsidy Programme to support its flagship Planting for Food and Jobs program to boost agricultural productivity and improve the living conditions of smallholder farmers across the country. Under the program, fertilizers are provided for the smallholder farmers at a subsidized price up to 50%. The fertilizers are allocated and distributed to farmers in districts across the country. The implementation plan for the Fertilizer Subsidy Programme makes a provision for 30% of the fertilizers to be allocated to women farmers. But according to some of these women farmers, the allocation has never been made for them. Rather, they often go to the distribution points and struggle with their male counterparts who more often than not bully them into forfeiting their share of the fertilizers.
In fact, when I got there, a lot of women were there and they were not getting the fertilizer. But I went inside, I was able to go inside, and all they could tell me was that the fertilizer was finished. Because they knew that if they had told me to go away or even to chase me or do something that was not proper, they would hear me on air. So all they said was that the fertilizer was finished.
Gilberta Akoba is a farmer based in the Boko West district of the Upper East region. She is also the chairperson for the peasant farmers in her district. For women farmers like her, getting fertilizers in time is the key to getting good yields at the end of the farming season. But according to her, in the past seasons, they rarely got the fertilizers, and even if they did, it came with a lot of struggle.
Women are vulnerable, and so last year, for you to be able to get the government subsidy fertilizer, it was a big hell. It was a big hell. Even if you heard that the fertilizer was in a particular shop and you went there, people went there to sleep, you will queue. When you get there, they will push you away because you are not strong. So it was very difficult for women actually to get subsidy fertilizer. It has been like that.
At Korania, in the Kassena-Nankana municipality, women rice farmers have faced similar challenges. Janet Atimolga is a rice farmer.
I went there with my money, but when the men came, when they get into my time and I'm to go and pick my own, they push me, they even pull me back. So I forced myself and enter. One man step on my leg. A pregnant woman, they even push that woman. Can you imagine a woman with a woman who is pregnant and he needs 10 or 4 to even go and use? The men will push her away and then hijack everything.
Another rice farmer, Ajwa Akansa, shares her experience in her efforts to get the government subsidized fertilizer last year.
And when the men are stronger than the women, so it's always difficult for us to get it. They were pushing us and we felt that we were always struggling, but still will not get. So it's always difficult for us to get the fertilizer.
According to the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana, the fertilizer subsidy shortages experienced in 2021 are likely to escalate this year as the prices of fertilizers have shot up and access to fertilizer will become more difficult largely due to the Russia-Ukraine war. Dr. Charles Nyaba is the Executive Director for the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana.
Women are usually neglected when it comes to access to subsidized fertilizer. As part of the implementation plan for the Fertilizer Subsidy Programme, 30% allocation is supposed to go to the women. But we found out that during the implementation, these provisions are usually neglected. And we are also foreseeing that the fertilizer subsidy shortages that we experienced in 2021 is likely to escalate in 2022. Now the fear is also that now that there is this conflict between Ukraine and Russia, and we know that most countries where fertilizer is manufactured is coming from getting their natural gas from Russia, and those countries have already placed economic bans on Russia. It means that the situation is going to be worse.
The women farmers want government to intervene by getting the fertilizer distributors to adhere to the implementation guidelines for the Fertilizer Subsidy Programme, which makes a provision for 30% of fertilizers to be allocated to women farmers.
We didn't know that when the fertilizer comes to the district, women are supposed to access 30% of the fertilizer. Because they knew we didn't know, they cheated us on that. We couldn't talk for our 30%.
What I want government to do or prefer to do for we the women is, if the fertilizer is coming, they should divide the fertilizer, that this one is going to the women and this one is going to the men. If they divide our fertilizer for us, and the women know that if you go here, you go and pick your fertilizer, or you go here, you go and buy your fertilizer, I think it's good for us.
For now, these women peasant farmers may just have to start bracing themselves for another difficult farming season. For JoyNews, Albert Sorry, reporting from Bolgatanga.